It may come as a shock, but Avon once stood as one of America's most beloved, well-known, and trusted names. The company held the title of the nation's leading cosmetics powerhouse and broke new ground with its home visit sales approach. But perhaps even more significant was Avon's reputation as an icon of women's independence. The company's sales force consisted almost entirely of women, often called Avon representatives. This tradition stretches back to the 1800s, long before women entered the workplace in significant numbers, even before American women secured voting rights. Avon provided one of the few viable income opportunities for women at that time. However, the landscape has transformed dramatically over the past 130-plus years. For an extended period, Avon has grappled with shrinking revenues, mounting financial obligations, numerous legal challenges, and an overall loss of the appeal it once possessed. I'll explore all these issues as I present what I consider to be 7 primary factors contributing to Avon's downfall. Women's workforce. I mentioned it already. Women joining the professional world. Avon was founded by David McConnell, who initially sold books door to door. A typical sales tactic then involved providing a complimentary gift in return for listening to a pitch. Since this occurred during the 1800s, the people who answered doors were predominantly women, managing homes while their spouses worked outside. McConnell discovered that offering a small perfume bottle as an incentive proved particularly effective. In fact, customers showed significantly more enthusiasm for the fragrance than the books. The sensible move was to drop the books entirely and focus on perfume. Another smart decision was enlisting housewives as sellers. They connected better with potential buyers and had availability. By the turn of the century, nearly 100,000 Avon representatives were making house calls to sell products. Initially, the company wasn't called Avon. It operated as the California Perfume Company, likely because California represented modernity and excitement. During the early 1900s, the business grew beyond fragrances to include face powders, lipsticks, and various related items. Avon was their best-selling cosmetics collection, so in 1939, they adopted it as the corporate name. The name derives from Stratford-upon-Avon in England, renowned as William Shakespeare's birthplace. After World War II, growth accelerated when unprecedented numbers of people established families, creating more stay-at-home women to both sell and purchase Avon products. Those iconic advertisements drove further expansion, and by the 1970s, Avon ranked among America's top-performing corporations. Forbes identified it as the most reliably profitable American company, and for the first time, sales hit the $1 billion mark. Nevertheless, data from the Population Reference Bureau shows that women's workforce participation rose substantially in subsequent decades, a widely recognized trend. This cultural transformation, coupled with economic pressures during the 1970s, sparked the initial serious concerns about Avon's future. As I mentioned, this explanation is fairly self-evident. The business was conceived and developed based on most women not holding jobs, which fundamentally changed over time. There was an era when selling Avon ranked among the most desirable income options for women that's simply no longer true. Quick favor, if you found this video interesting, subscribing helps us cover more rise and fall stories like this. Kindly do please. Failed diversification attempts. Heading into the 1980s, Avon's grand strategy involved entering different sectors through expensive acquisitions. Nearly all of these ventures failed. A few examples: Tiffany & Company, the jewelry retailer they paid over $100 million to acquire in 1979, couldn't match competitors' performance for 5 years, then sold it. They subsequently purchased a chemical manufacturer for $750 million, only to sell it at a financial loss shortly thereafter. Similar outcomes follow with a healthcare business and several nursing home operations. All were acquired and divested within a few years, leaving Avon burdened with over $1 billion in debt by the 1990s. In 1997, they acquired a toy manufacturer, selling it within a few years. In 2010, they bought another jewelry business that was sold shortly after. The pattern is clear. They not only squandered considerable time and resources pursuing new paths, they never actually discovered that new direction. Intense competition. Part of Avon's early triumph stemmed from the difficulty people in isolated rural areas faced accessing locations offering diverse perfumes or cosmetics. Remember, we're discussing over 100 years ago when Avon representatives literally traveled by horse to customers' homes. Obviously, circumstances would evolve drastically over such an extended time frame. But this illustrates how different the world was when Avon launched and how much new competition they've confronted over the years. Pharmacies like Walgreens or CVS became popular cosmetics destinations. Big box retailers like Walmart or Target proved major challengers, and more recent competition arrived from specialized retailers like Ulta and Sephora. Avon was selling cosmetics before any of these existed. As consumers gained more options, the market became increasingly fragmented, and Avon struggled to give people compelling reasons to choose their products over alternatives. Missing the technology revolution. Even as brick-and-mortar stores became standard venues for buying cosmetics, Avon remained the most appealing option for home shopping. Representatives would visit your door and display their wonderful offerings. But most would agree that the internet has become the new preferred method for buying cosmetics at home. This seems like it should have been a natural evolution for Avon. Yet they largely overlooked this opportunity and continued, depending on their sales representatives, much more than their website. In hindsight, it's obvious they should have invested far more heavily in online sales. Not to mention insufficient social media marketing. Those advertisements appearing on Instagram or YouTube significantly influence brand perception, especially among younger demographics. For these reasons, I don't believe Avon has succeeded in appealing to younger consumers. Also regarding technology, it's worth noting that Avon invested 4 years and over $100 million developing a software platform intended to handle orders and monitor commissions. But in 2013, representatives reacted so negatively during a Canadian trial run that the company abandoned it. Overemphasis on international markets. To clarify, Avon has struggled in many global markets, but their home territory of the United States has been most problematic. Their initial international move was entering Canada back in 1914. During the 1950s boom period, they expanded into South America, then Europe, followed by Japan in the 1960s. In 2006, Avon became the first company licensed for direct selling in China after restrictions were removed. As their American operations deteriorated, more resources went toward other nations. By the early 2010s, North American revenues were steadily declining while the region reported annual losses. At that point, North America represented less than 15% of Avon's total revenue. These American struggles contributed to a dramatic stock price collapse. $100 invested in Avon in 2010 would have plummeted to $16 by 2015. The company then essentially divided its North American operations by splitting into 2 entities. The new American company became New Avon Straightforward Enough. The existing global entity was called Avon Products. Avon Products retain a minority stake in New Avon, though ownership has since changed for both. In 2024, Avon Products, the international division, declared bankruptcy, pointing to external circumstances like the pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict as contributing elements. Talc-related lawsuits. I want to emphasize that I'm neither a scientist nor a physician, but from what I understand, talc is extracted alongside asbestos, a confirmed cancer-causing substance. Consequently, talc can become contaminated with asbestos, and many talc users have apparently developed serious health problems. Unfortunately, many cosmetics manufacturers, including Avon, incorporated talc into their face powders and other items, resulting in multiple lawsuits. At Bankruptcy, Avon reported facing over 380 such cases, which, realistically, probably exceeds what the company can financially handle. You'll need to conduct your own investigation for anything approaching complete understanding of this situation. But it has severely damaged Avon and represents the most recent blow in their continuing decline. Outdated brand. Avon is outdated. I'm referring to the brand name, the business methods, and likely most things connected to it. This ranks among the oldest brands I've examined on this platform. Even during the 1980s, they struggled to stay relevant while already marking their centennial. Today, I suspect many viewers have probably never encountered Avon. Those who have likely don't view it as a hip, modern brand. It's unfortunate to witness such a groundbreaking, once respected company in such diminished circumstances. Yet simultaneously, I wouldn't call it surprising. Nearly everything that once distinguished Avon has become obsolete. Certainly, they could have adapted to technology better, modified their sales approaches, expanded into more viable markets, or pursued other strategies. But it's challenging maintaining relevance, and staying ahead of competitors while your environment constantly evolves is difficult. Perhaps in Avon's case, it simply wasn't destined to last. Share your perspective in the comments. Is Avon an antiquated brand with little distinctive value in the modern marketplace? Or does it retain potential for resurgence? If so, what steps would be necessary? This topic received significant votes on my platform, suggesting ongoing interest in the brand. Perhaps that's encouraging. Also, do you agree with my identified decline factors? As always, this isn't exhaustive, but represents the elements I consider most significant and compelling. Let me know whether anything should be added or removed, and share any other thoughts about Avon or this documentary in the comments. I welcome your replies. Thanks for watching.